Yes, everyone, how are we doing? And welcome to the post-match review for Tottenham Hotspur 2, Manchester City 2. Sunday evening, we somehow managed to throw away a 2-0 lead against possibly the worst Tottenham Hotspur side I have seen in my entire lifetime. I don't think I'll be dramatic when I say that. And I'm not only saying that just because of where they are in the league table, how they're doing with Thomas Frank, how they've been playing with Thomas Frank. It isn't that. Look at the team they put out yesterday. Look at the players they had fit and available. They're injury-riddled. They're a mess. They are a mess. And I know they're supposed to be our bogey team and stuff like that. But coming out of that stadium with that result, with the way that we were, the advantage that we had after the first half, it is genuinely, it's incredible. It is incredible in the worst way possible. It's incredible that we managed to mess it up that badly. That we managed to let Tottenham play like that against us. That Tottenham Hotspur team, the way that they've been playing this season, it's mind-blowing, isn't it? Look, there's a hell of a lot of things I want to talk about in this video, of course. The match review for the Tottenham game, Tottenham 2, City 2. What is going wrong with City in a minute? Is there a mentality problem at City in the moment, as mad as it sounds? What that means for the title race? Can we even win a title playing like this? How poor we've been this season? I'm going to preview tomorrow's game. I'm going to do that, join the two videos together because, of course, tomorrow night we're back. We're playing again. The game's going thick and fast. We've got Newcastle. It doesn't get much easier, does it? Second leg of the Carabao Cup, a chance to get to Wembley this season, a chance to get to a final. So I'm going to talk about that. And listen, the transfer window's finished. Have a little recap on that. So look, I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to get straight into it. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I'll try to get to 1,000 by the end of the 25-26 season. If you want to see my matchday vlog for the Tottenham game, it is posted now. I posted it Sunday night late when I got in. And look, without further ado, let's just get straight into it because let's get out of the way. Let's get this Tottenham talk out of the way because I'm not happy. I'm not happy. There's a real bleak feeling around Manchester City at the moment, and I feel like I am such a positive person in general, football and non-football. I love this team. I love football. Because look, I live and breathe City. I live and breathe this football club, and it's the way I like it. It's the way I love it. I wouldn't change it any other way, okay? It's my personality, and I'm more than happy with that, more than content with that. But the issue is that has its downsides, and right now is most definitely one of them downsides. You wish, when it's like this, that you didn't let 11 players wearing blue shirts, kicking a football around a grass field, have such control over your life, have such control over your mental state, but it just does. And Tottenham away on Sunday was one I was excited for. I love away days. There's nothing better. There's nothing better than following your team up and down the country, in and out the country. It's amazing. It's the best feeling, especially when you win. It makes it 10 times better when you win. I was excited for Spurs. I know there was a big narrative around Manchester City and Tottenham, and of course there is, and I suppose there is some truth to it. They are our bogey team. No team has beaten Manchester City more times while we've had Pep Guardiola in charge than Tottenham Hotspur. At their stadium, it took us years and years and years and games and games and games to even score a goal, never mind win a game. Even no matter how poor Tottenham are and how good City are, when they come together, Tottenham always find a way of beating us. They very well possibly could have done another double over us. They beat us earlier in the season. They probably should have beat us with how poor we were in the second half on Sunday. It's just Tottenham, and I hate Tottenham. But I was excited for this game because I looked at how City were playing. I looked at how City's results were for the past couple of games. It's not exactly like we've been on fire, is it? But I just thought we're on the up. We made some good signings. Spurs injury-riddled, not playing well. Players don't look like they're playing for the manager. It's a really strange feeling around Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, especially. They're in a weird position where they've got through to the Champions League comfortably. They're round of 16, but they're like 14th in the table. The players seem, I don't know, it's just, they're a weird club at the minute, Tottenham. And I thought that City had an opportunity, and I said it in my match day vlog at the start, we had an opportunity to show the character that we have in these players, the character that we are, what we're about, how ready we are in this title race. Arsenal last week against Manchester United, I was going to say slipped up, but they beat us as well, United, didn't they? But they dropped points, they lost the game, and City had an opportunity, with Arsenal winning the day before, to close the gap again to 4 points. Before we played, Aston Villa lost, so we could have gone 3 points clear of Villa and closed the gap to 4 points again on Arsenal, and kept it within a very close touching distance. But my feeling now, despite the fact 4 points and 6 points, it is only 2 games still. Both of them are 2 games on paper. If Arsenal to lose, 2 City to win, so you understand what I'm saying. But I don't know. I don't. It isn't the result. It's the way we're playing. It's the way we look. How just empty we look at times. Oh my God, I don't need this. I don't need this. The football's annoying me enough. Genuinely, I don't even know where I was. I don't know what I was up to. I'm too distracted. My head's all over the place. The point of it was, I was looking forward to Tottenham away. I thought it was an opportunity for City players to show the character, show what we're about, show that we're ready to close the gap at Arsenal, chase Arsenal, and overtake Arsenal this season. Be present in this title race. And we didn't. We played like cowards in that second half. We played awful in that second half. And if anything, it's given me even less confidence than I've ever had at some point in the season. I think genuinely right now, my faith in City winning this year, this title race this year, has never been lower at any point in the season. It really hasn't. And we've been we've been a few points further back than Arsenal points this season. But I've never genuinely looked at this team at any point in the season and thought, okay, we are not winning it. And right now, with Liverpool away next in the league, I don't see it one bit. I don't know. Genuinely, not one ounce of me thinks that we're going to go and win it. Not Anfield, not this title race, not any of it. We're playing poor. We're playing poor. Yes, it was a good result. Well, it was a needed result to beat Wolves to win our first game of 2026. And we needed, and I mean needed, if we were to qualify to the round of 16, which we did, we needed to beat Galatasaray. But it didn't. Neither of them two teams really went out. Neither of them two teams caused us loads and loads of problems. Like, they didn't have loads and loads of quality. We weren't brilliant. We didn't blow either team away. We just did what we needed to do. And Tottenham, we sort of did blow them away for the first half. The first half, genuinely, that was the happiest I've been in a footballing sense. As soon as the half-time finished, the first half, City were brilliant. Ryan Cherki was fantastic. I thought Roger looked back like himself. Bernardo Silva was brilliant. All over, I thought we were class, genuinely. We were brilliant. And I know Tottenham, to be fair, were awful in that first half. But City took advantage. We were 2 goals up at the break. And you thought that, listen, if we'd have gone into the half-time 1-0, I wouldn't have been carried away. I wouldn't have been getting carried away. I'd have thought, listen, we're battering them. We're in control of them. But we need a second goal to kill this off. Semenyo scored. He's doing backflips or front flips. He's flipping about. I'm flipping about in the concourse, banging and singing and screaming. And it's, it was brilliant. It was unbelievable. The feeling at half time, it was immense. And never did I imagine Manchester City, the way that we turned out in that first half. I'd have believed that they swapped shirts at half time. We played like Tottenham did in the first half. And they played with a confidence, played with brilliance. It was Xavi Simons, it's the best I've ever seen of him in a Tottenham shirt. Dominic Solanke's going scorpion kicks. Like, it's just ridiculous. And listen, I know there's things that didn't go our way with VAR and stuff like that. But the point of the story is, City weren't good enough. City did not deserve to win that game. We did not deserve to win that game of football. With how we've shown ourselves in the second half, it wasn't good enough. That isn't what title champions do. That is not what Premier League titles do. That ain't how you win them. We know that. I know that. You know that. We all know it. We've seen what it takes. 100 points, 98 points. With Liverpool finished on 97. 1 point within other seasons. That 22-23, the 21-22 season. Gundogan last minute. We know what it takes. We know how important these points are. And performances like that, so weak, so empty, soulless. It was soulless. I couldn't believe it. I was in disbelief. We did not show up. We did not show up in that second half. We did not show up. And coming into it, I was hoping and I was praying. Now, I didn't end up making a Tottenham Hotspur preview. I wanted to, and I did plan on doing it, but I went out Friday night, got steaming, went out Saturday night, got steaming, and I was dying in between it, so I didn't have time. Or I did have time, but I didn't feel well to do it. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm glad I didn't now. I'm so glad I didn't, because everything I'd have said before that, I'd have looked at it. I'd have looked stupid. You know what I'm saying? I'd have looked ridiculous because I was so excited and had so much confidence, because that's what I do. I shouldn't have myself as biased as a City fan. It should be delusional City fan, because I build myself up in my mind, this team up in my mind, despite how poor we've been so far this year. I built it up and built it up and built it up and got carried away yet again to believe that we were going to go there, one of City's traditionally toughest teams that we can come up against, and win. I thought we'd turn them over, and we should have. We could have. We definitely could have. We did in the first half. If City would have played at even 50% at the level that we know we can, the players on the pitch would have played at 50% at the level that we know they can, we wouldn't have lost that game. We wouldn't have lost that game. And we didn't lose. This is what I'm saying. It feels like a loss. It feels like a loss. I'm calling it a loss because it feels like a loss. We were 2-0 up and we lost. We didn't lose. What am I on about? I'm not with it. I'm not with it. I'm not with it. Oh, and neither of the team. We're not playing right. We're not looking right. This isn't the players that I recognised them to once be. All over that second half, genuinely to a man other than Donnarumma, I thought City were off it. No individual was a disaster. It weren't one of the performances where you point it in and go, he was rotten. Just every single player, Byron. No! if anyone's got any tips on how to be a proper YouTuber and actually get a proper setup and all that, I'm useless, I'm hopeless, I don't know what I'm doing, so please just let me know, because I'm sick of flags falling down in videos, okay? It's driving me mad, and once again, I don't know what I was talking about. I don't think it was a disaster performance by individuals. I just think as a collective, each and every individual, barring the goalkeeper, weren't good enough in that second half. They were weak. They let Spurs pass the ball around and play around them, like with the Barcelona. We looked scared of them. We looked weak. I don't know what it was. And this is the thing. I think it's a feeling amongst a lot of City fans. A lot of the City fans were there at the game. It's confusion. Even on the pitch at the end of the game, you're looking at the players. They look baffled. They look confused at the way they're playing themselves. You know, a couple of weeks ago, Pep Guardiola said, "I know what was going. I know what was wrong, and I know I'm going to sort it." You didn't sort it, lad. You didn't sort it. Pep, and I've got so much more faith in Pep than I do the players genuinely at the minute, because Pep's proven it. A lot of Pep has proven it pre-City, at City, and he'll do it post-City. He's the man. He's the best coach in the world. We're blessed to have him. There's some of the players there that aren't playing right. They're really not playing right, and I believe that Pep can sort it out, but he needs to. Sharpish, extremely sharpish. I'm talking within the next few days. He needs to come up with something genius to somehow get Manchester City a win at Anfield, because that never happens. We were so reliant for the basis of being within 2 games, as I said, whether it's 4 points or 6 points, with Arsenal, it was always going to be 2 Premier League games or 2 Premier League losses behind them, if you understand what I'm trying to say. In my mind, and it was all I was telling myself, all I was saying to everyone at the pub, it's all I've been saying, we need to beat Tottenham because we won't beat Liverpool. If we can get a point at Anfield and 3 points at Tottenham, that'd have been brilliant for City. It'd been brilliant. We picked up 1 point at Tottenham, and we are not picking up 3 points at Anfield. There is no way that happens. Not a chance. In my lifetime, I'm 21 years old. In my lifetime, the only time that Manchester City have won at Anfield was lockdown. No one was allowed to be there except the players and staff. That was it. There were no crowd there. There was no nothing. Yes, we battered them, but it didn't matter. It was a meaningless game. They'd already won the league. It counted for nothing. Nilch, nada, zero. Okay, we will not win at Anfield. We were so reliant on that Tottenham 3 points, and we didn't. We threw it away, and quite literally, we threw it away. It was in our hands. And we didn't. And you know what? We're lucky to come away with a point. The way that Donnarumma played, some of the saves he pulled off in that second half, genuinely disbelief, utter disbelief, and it needs sorting. It needs fixing, sharpish, because we're miles off it. Some of the players look lost. Erling Haaland looks lost. He looks lost out there in the minute. He's having a really poor spell, really poor spell. I thought Antoine Semenyo in that second half. I mean, all game, to be fair, look, he took his goal well, of course he did, but he couldn't beat his man. And them two are incredible. 2 of the best scorers in the league. Like, come on. Rodri, first half to second half, looked a total different player. I thought, listen, I know we had a rant on the referee at the end of the game, and I'm going to talk about that literally in a minute or so. But I mean, listen, of all the messengers to be, I think he's probably the one that. Fair enough. I liked his interview, and I thought he was very honest. I want to see that. I'm glad that I've enjoyed seeing him and Bernardo and Pep Guardiola, all these players come out and be open and honest and just say it how it is and not cower away and, like we've done in the past when certain decisions are going to get us, you go, oh, it is what it is. No, they're standing up for themselves. They're saying they've been done in, week out. But the point is, wrong messenger, because you were lucky to stay in the pitch, Rodri. You know what I'm saying? He very well could have been sent off again, a double yellow card yet again. So that is the only thing I'd say. We got lucky with Rodri. Could have been out for Anfield and that. Or to be fair, he'd have been out for Newcastle. I don't know. I don't care. It didn't happen anyway. And you know what it is? The people actually trying to use that as a counter argument. I'm using it as a counter argument for Rodri doing that interview. People using it as a counter argument for how, well, to be fair, one decision went Spurs' way in that Stanky's first goal. One decision went in City's way. Rodri not getting sent off. Rodri could have got sent off in the 93rd minute. 93rd minute of a plus 9 additional minutes. 3 out of 9. We'd have had 10 men for 6 minutes. They wouldn't have scored that first goal. The momentum, it could have changed the entire game. City, we wouldn't have deserved it. We wouldn't have deserved it with that second half performance if we'd have got out there with a win. But we'd have done it. We might have done it. Totally different game. Very well possibly. And that is on the ridiculous stupidity of some of these officials. The decisions that some of these are coming out with, they're making week in, week out. I'm at my wit's end with it. I'm at my wit's end with VAR, these officials, these referees. They don't know what they're doing. Game after game after game after game. They're genuinely incapable. They're incapable. The decisions I have seen for Manchester City. I mean, just off some of the decisions this year so far, 1 month into the year, some of the decisions we've had. That Delo red card, how was that not a red card? And that knee snapper on Doku. He could have broke Doku's leg. It was dangerous. It was reckless. No red card. He bottled it at Old Trafford. We've had that stupid decision against Semenyo to rule out his goal at St James's Park. Now listen, thankfully City had the bottle then, the quality then. the desire and the fight then to go and push for that second goal and give us that 2-goal advantage for tomorrow's game against Newcastle. Thank God, because that could have been a very different game coming into tomorrow if we only had that 1-goal lead. Very different game. Ridiculous decision to rule out Semenyo's goal. I mean, it took 6 minutes. Honestly, pathetic. You're thinking of handball against Wolves. Natural position, yeah. He's looking like a plane, looking like a bird. Natural position. Nice one, referee. Nice one. Oh, don't call him out. It's his debut. Well done for sticking to your decision. Your wrong decision. Well done, lad. Well done. And then that on Sunday. What on earth was that? How on earth is that not a foul? There isn't a single person out there who could possibly look at that. And the issue is, I can understand small mistakes here and there. Referees aren't going to get everything right. But they're making howlers, ridiculous, outrageous, genuinely unfathomable decisions. How you can watch that back? He kicks through it. I mean, I find it mind-blowing that they've given it a Solanke goal and not a Mark Gahey own goal. The way that he kicks through Gahey. You know, if that's anywhere else on a football pitch, that is a foul. That is a foul. If that was Mark Gahey on Solanke, it's a penalty for Tottenham. But Solanke's kicked through Gahey. He's kicked through him. And there's no issue with that. The goal stands. Are you mental? Are you stupid? And these are officials in the best league in the world. You want to wind up here? Are you just trying to wind me up? What is going on? And then there's people from rival fans, even some City fans, that have the audacity to question our manager. One of our captains coming out and saying, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of these referees. I'm sick of the decisions. I've had enough. I've absolutely had enough. You know, they've done us over here. It's every single week, every single game. And Rodri said it perfectly. Yes, we weren't good enough in that second half, but that could have won us the game. We could have won the game. It's a totally different second half if they don't get that goal. The momentum shifted, everything. And it's on these officials. They're costing us points. They're costing us everything. We don't deserve to be top of the league right now. Not a chance. Not the way we've played so far this year. But wow, we'd have been near there. Wow, we might have been above Arsenal by now. We could have treated games differently. Who knows the position we could have been if these officials were competent. I'm not asking them to be brilliant, just competent, bearable. Honestly, they're ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, enough said. I'm not spending any more minutes fuming over these fools that officiate this game. Honestly, I know it swings and roundabouts, and genuinely, I'm not one to come in here and start moaning about referees every single time. I've said genuinely, it's an opinion that I find laughable when people say, oh, the world's against Manchester City, oh, the world's against Liverpool, the world's against Arsenal, the world's against United. The world's not against no one. There isn't this big gang. There's not a big group chat, a WhatsApp group chat of referees going, hey, City tomorrow, what can I do? Or I'm not going to give a red card. Or if someone brings him down in the penalty, hey, don't block, don't VAR sort us out. You know what I mean? There's nothing like that for any team. And I know it is luck, but wow, our luck is not on our side right now. Wow, luck is not on our side. We're being done over week in, week out. I can accept the odd decision here and there. I accepted, Doku it was a ridiculous decision, Delo not getting sent off there. As I said, leg breaker. I can accept it because we were disgusting against United. We were disgusting. We didn't deserve anything in that game. And yeah, that second half was awful against Tottenham. I can accept it. Certain ones here and there, you're going to get a few howlers a season. But we have had enough howlers for an entire season, all 4 competitions in the space of 1 month of a season. It's ridiculous. I've had enough. Now, I said at the start of this video, is there a mentality problem at Manchester City? Is there? It's a question. And it's something that genuinely find ridiculous to even think about. But we've got to talk about it because I think there may be. I mean, the way... Oh, sorry, me mic. The idea that there could be a mentality issue when you've got the coach that is Pep Guardiola, the most decorated coach in current football. You know, what he's done before Man City, while at Manchester City, some of them with some of these players, the success he's had, he's won every trophy there is to win. He's broken every record there is to break. He has done a lot. Mentality shouldn't be an issue when you've got him in charge. It should not. You should want to play for Pep, love to play for Pep. Everyone who joins Manchester City, listen, I know they do that same old talk of, oh, I'm joining a big club, a massive club, I'm excited to win, blah, 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 meet the fans, or whatever. I don't care about none of that. That not right now. That isn't what I'm trying to say. The common thing that you always hear with a lot of these players is Pep Guardiola. I get to work with Pep. So why, when you're working with Pep, are you playing like that? So why, when you're playing for Pep, are you not fighting until the end, chasing every ball, trying to go in for every 50, just everything, desire? And that's what I'm saying. That's what I can accept being outplayed. Tottenham Hotspur would have turned out, and to be fair, they were decent. As I said, Xavi Simons was good. Solanke took his goal well. Don't wind me up. But they were allowed to, if you know what I'm saying. Yes, they were good, they were better. Xavi Simons I thought was good, but They were allowed to play like that. We let them play like that. We let them play around us. We let them do that. They're not this world beater side. Look at how poor they are this season. They'll get turned over by United next week. They'll get turned over like a page, like a book. Honestly, I can't cope with it. I can't cope. I can accept if Tottenham would have turned up and battered us. They were like genuinely passes off the park in a way that you're seeing City fight and run and just hurt. You want to see City battle. If I'm watching a group of players die for the badge and look devastated and dying and just exhausted at the end of the game, I can accept it. I can go, well, you know what it is? He worked. I couldn't do that yesterday, and it's been too many times this season that I've not been able to do it. We look hopeless. We look lost of ideas. We look useless on the pitch at times. Useless at the end of the game. Confusion. It's confusion. How are we playing this bad? Erling Haaland looks at the end of every single game, and I'm not trying to just dig out him, but at the same time, we've got to talk about him. The most paid player by a country mile in probably the league, never mind the club, the league. He's the ultimate professional. But he looks baffled. He looks confused, a little bemused at the end of every game, going, what are we doing? What is this? And I don't know if it's confusion about the entire team, about himself. Of course, he's not playing well, but he's just one small part of a big problem at the minute. The entire team isn't playing well. They've been miles off it for weeks and weeks and weeks. And there was only so many times you can get away with it. There's only so many times you can pick up a few points while playing bad. Or you can be in a position where going, listen, it ain't the end of the world. Arsenal drop points as well. Or we're losing games. We're losing time that we can catch up. And the way we play, the way we fight, how poor we are on the ball, how poor we are off the ball, how poor we are full stop. We don't stand a cat's and hell's chance of chasing Arsenal, catching up with them, never mind overtaking them. We don't. Not a chance. Not a chance. We go to Anfield next week, and listen, I fear the worst. I fear the worst, because at stadium, you were talking about Tottenham being a bogey side. Try playing at Anfield. Have you seen the way we played there sometimes? Oh, God. I mean, how weak we are. A counter-attack. My heart's in my mouth every time I see a team run at us, regardless if they're a semi-pro player or a world beater. Honestly, my heart's in my mouth every time. We look like we're going to concede. We look panicky every time someone runs at us. Genuinely, can you imagine Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool team running out? They do a 7-0 to us. They maul us, a Jurgen Klopp Liverpool team. The way they beat some of City's best teams, never mind this, the way that we defend. I honestly, I don't know. And this is what I'm saying. This is the frustrating thing. Is there a mentality issue? What's going on? Are we not set up right? Is Pep getting things wrong? I think it's a mix of everything at the minute, but we're running out of time. If City want to say, there's a long way to go, there's 14 games to go. And I know a reporter asked Pep a stupid question, and Pep he bit back and said, what, you want me to sacrifice the Premier League when there's 14 games to go? Well, yeah, of course we don't. No one wants that. We don't. But sooner or later, that point, that gap is going to go like this and this and this and this and this. And the games that we've got left are going to go from this to this to this to this to this, to the point where coming last day of the season, all this talk about, City, Villa, who knows, we've been here before. I mean, it might be a title race. If Arsenal drop off, it could be City versus Villa. Come to the end of the season, the way that we're going on, the way that Villa are going on, Arsenal off the parade, they'll have the trophy ready. The medal's already made. You know what I mean? The winners' 26 shirts already. And honestly, I don't know. Anyway, that's me done talking about Tottenham. I'm not doing it anymore. I feel like I'm talking about this. I've talking about them for ages. I'm so wound up, genuinely. It was a couple of days ago, and I'm fuming, talking about it, I'm fuming, thinking about it. But listen, we've got to move on. City have got to move on. I've got to move on. Everyone's got to move on. Pick ourselves back up. There's something to fight for. And that fight starts tomorrow. Semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. The second leg against Newcastle. We go into it with a 2-goal advantage. And, what can we do? What can we do? We've got to bounce back. I'm fucking saying this every single week, but it's just a fact. We've got to bounce back. You would think surely City can't mess us up. We cannot mess us up from this position. We are 90 minutes away from a cup final. Now, listen, of course, tonight is Arsenal against Chelsea. Arsenal have a 3-2 advantage and they're playing at home. I would expect, I think it will be Arsenal that we will be playing against should we qualify against Newcastle. Should we qualify? We should, but as long as we do, I think it'll be Arsenal in the final. And I've got a weird feeling where I'm like, I want Arsenal because I would take so much pleasure in beating them any of the game, whether it's in a raffle, in a game of 5-a-side or a cup final. Honestly, I hate them. And I would love it. I would love it if we beat them. That's ironic, isn't it? We're playing Newcastle tomorrow. But anyway, I'd love it if we beat Arsenal in the final, but at the same time, the way that we're playing, we won't win a final. We won't win. And I would rather be beaten by Chelsea than Arsenal, if you understand what I'm trying to say. It's that sort of gamble. I think realistically, whoever it is would have a tough opponent in the final, but I don't even want to talk about the final yet. That's for the match review for the Newcastle game. If we get there, let's talk about Newcastle. Newcastle, I'm not doing no final talk. I'm not jinxing it. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing none of that. So, like I said, we come into it with a 2-goal advantage. I know it's a competition that Pep Guardiola traditionally doesn't exactly care about, but we have found our way into a semi-final, found our way into a brilliant position to get a chance at silverware again. I say it every single time I talk about a cup competition. There's a lot of players in this team that are yet to win a trophy with Manchester City, and it's of course the first opportunity to do so. You think out of the main four, it is the lowest ranked one. It's the one that people want the least, but it's still one I want. It's still one. If you take a trip to Wembley and win silverware, it's nothing to laugh at, nothing to be to snigger about, is it? Look at Newcastle; they were putting. And I know the expectations are different for Newcastle and City. We've won about 8 of these competitions, and they've not won a trophy in 70 years before that. But still, I want the Carabao Cup. I want it. I think it could really help us for this season. I say it. I feel like I repeat myself a lot when it comes to these sort of videos, these competitions. But it could help us in a sense that final is the 22nd of March. We play Arsenal in the league. If we are within the same amount of points as we are now, come then. If we do play Arsenal and beat them, you think of the feeling in the camp, the players, the momentum, the morale, everything. The Carabao Cup not only could be good for City to win silverware and the players to win a trophy, win a medal, and the fans to win at Wembley, it could be big for the other things we could be competing in at that point in the season, So look, the moral of the story is I want to win it. It was Pep Guardiola's first trophy as a Manchester City manager. He beat Arsenal, ironically, in that final. Aguero up top, David Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, Fernandinho. Oh, I miss them. I miss them all. But yeah, Newcastle tomorrow. Newcastle, of course, to be fair, a team that are also struggling at the minute. They are struggling. They've just been beaten 4-1 off Liverpool. That doesn't fill me a confidence. Can you imagine Newcastle turn up and beat us tomorrow and they've been beaten 4-1 off Liverpool and we've got them next at Anfield again? Like, whoa. But they are also struggling a little bit similar to Spurs in the sense that they have a lot of injury problems. They've got a lot of injuries. City should be, I think, even without the 2-goal advantage, if this was a one-off tie and it was at the Etihad, we'd be a clear favourite for it. Especially the way that we played against them in the first leg of the competition. We were brilliant against Newcastle in that first leg. Brilliant. And if we turn up and play like that again, I definitely believe we can do so. Now, injuries. I know I spoke about Newcastle's injuries just then. I said they've got a lot of injuries. Their midfield looks defeated. Like Bruno out. Joe Linton out. I think Tenali picked one up. Did he? I don't know. There's injuries all over the place for them. But it's somewhat similar for Manchester City, of course. Oscar Bob has left. We'll talk about that after. Jeremy Doku's out injured. He got injured in the Galatasaray game. I said after Galatasaray, I hope it wasn't too serious. And it isn't too serious. Like, he's only going to be out for a few weeks, but he's missing Tottenham. Well, he missed Tottenham. He's missing Newcastle tomorrow. He's missing Liverpool. Even them 3 games, just missing them 3 alone. Of course, he'll miss a couple more, but missing them 3 is bad enough in itself. Ryan Cherki went down and went off injured the Tottenham game. He was our brightest spark by a country mile in that game. He was our biggest creator, our magician. We took his goal fantastically in that game. We need him more so even for Anfield than Tottenham. I worry about what we could be like. We've got enough quality all over the pitch anyway. You think if Ryan Cherki's injured, if Doku's injured, we've still got Phil Foden coming and needs to prove himself. He needs to step up and be a leader for this team. You've got Semenyo, who again, as I said, I don't think he played really well in the Tottenham game, but he scored, and that's important. If you're scoring while not playing well, you're still scoring, you're still helping the team. He was brilliant in the first game against Newcastle. So I'd like Semenyo to start. I think he's a great option, of course. Marmoush was brought on in like the 93rd minute. Ridiculous choice to bring him on that late. But you'd expect Marmoush to start. He was dropped for Tottenham and we missed him. I want him starting. We've got options despite injuries, despite, little niggles here and there. We've got options right now at City, and I think we've definitely got enough to go to the Etihad tomorrow, come up against Newcastle and win the game, never mind qualifying, win the actual game. But hey, speaking of all these players, let me just run through the lineup that I would start for this game. Of course, James Trafford will be picked as it's a cup competition, but hey, no issue with that. I thought he was really good. He saved us when we were 0-0 in that first leg. Remember that save where he tipped it onto the crossbar? Incredible. I'm excited to see Trafford play. Donnarumma hasn't been an issue over the past few weeks. He's been brilliant. He's been one of our most important players. God forbid the position we'd be in now or how we'd be feeling right now. if Donnarumma wasn't there. We've won 1 in 6 in the league so far this year. Would we have won that? I don't even know. I don't know. I fear it. But to be fair, at the same time, we'd have had Trafford stepping in. I think as a second choice goalkeeper, Trafford is the best second choice in the league. Facts, he's more than good enough to be number one. I mean, he was signed as the number one. It was just the look of Donnarumma coming available. So thank you, Enrique. But yeah, Trafford, he'll definitely step in. The back four, I'd expect to be, well, all 4 players were playing against Tottenham. I think it'll be Kusanov and Gahey as centre halves. Of course, Gahey is signed. He can play like Semenyo could play the first leg. And then it'll be O'Reilly at left back and Nunes at right back. That'll be my back four. Solid enough. In the midfield, this does seem like a somewhat of a defensive midfield, but I feel like with how Newcastle attack, with the way that City defend, I think Newcastle are set up perfect in their style of playing, how counter-attacking they are, how fierce and aggressive they are to really hurt the City team. It's the exact type of setup that I worry the most against. I'd start Rodri and Nico together and Bernardo as a midfield three. As I said, quite defensive, I know. But, all 3 players can do the business going forward. They can, push Bernardo over a little bit higher. We know how good he is there. We've seen it over the past 10 years. He's brilliant. And I want to see Rodri and Nico start together. I do. Yeah, that is that. I don't know. Maybe Reinders could get a chance. We've got options. I think Reinders, to be fair, probably will start. I think he's always quite good as well, Reinders, when he starts. I think he might be looking at this team in the way that even Rodri, when he's come back, might be playing, thinking, why am I getting more game time? I don't know. But yeah, maybe Reinders is a shout, but I just want to see a bit more solidity. I want to see a bit more someone in defence there. Nico goes back from injury, came off the bench against Tottenham. And I want both of them to starting against Liverpool as well. So, yeah, we'll see. But that'd be my midfield three anyway. And then as for the attack, I know I said Phil Foden's got to step in and step up, but he doesn't start in my lineup, to be honest with you. I'd be going Marmoush on the left, Semenyo on the right, and Erling Haaland up top. There'll be people probably calling for Haaland to be dropped the way that he's been playing. And to be fair, look, they might have a point. And I think, to be fair, either one of them two, Marmoush or Semenyo, I would be interested to see what they'd be like up top. I think they could definitely do the business. Both of them have played up top before. Both great options, both different options, different profiles to Haaland as well. But I think I'd be starting Haaland for this game. Yeah, I just would. I want him to score goals. I want him to get back to his best, feeling his best, and just, he's good against Galatasaray. We're going to need him. We're going to need him firing, and he needs a goal. He needs a few goals. He needs a hat trick. He needs something that's going to get him firing and get him. I'm not saying he doesn't believe in himself or his head's not with it at the minute, but you can definitely tell he's off it. There's something off it about him. So I get a goal of doing the world, a good, especially in a big game, a good goal, a good few goals anyway. Anyway. Phil Foden's on the bench for me, and if he does start, I hope he steps up. I hope he plays well, but he's just not been doing it for me at the minute. He hasn't, and he's got to earn his spot back into the team. And when you've got players like Marmoush who have been doing really well when they've been starting and didn't start the last game, I think he's got every right to be higher in Phil Foden in the pecking order. So, yeah, that would be my lineup anyway. I'm not really going to mention much more about the Newcastle game because I am very conscious that this video is very long. Some of you clicked on this video, well, all of you probably clicked on this video for a Tottenham Hotspur match reaction, not a podcast. So, yeah, I'm going to leave it there for the Newcastle game and quickly finish on the January transfer window because the January transfer window finished last night. And despite the fact I've been annoyed and angry throughout this entire video, and the feeling around the club at the minute is a little bit bleak after, a run of some bad results and, the ideas of where we could be if we'd have been half decent. I think January window has been good for City. It's been important. Hugo Vianney, you've done really well. Hugo Vianney, what a 25-26 season he has had. Regardless of where City finished the end of the season, what trophies we win, if we finish trophyless the season, you still look at Hugo Vianney, well done. He's made some brilliant signings for this football club. A lot of great signings for some good value as well. A lot of them, I think Donnarumma, Cherki, Ryan. I think all of them, to be fair, great value. And even the January transfer windows, in fact, especially the January transfer window one. Mark Gahey, the most recent one for £20 million, is one of the biggest bargains of the Premier League over the past decade, you say, for a fact. One of the best centre-halves in the world, Premier League proven, Premier League experience, England international for £20 million is ridiculous. Semenyo, one of the hottest players in the league, top scorers in the league. I know it was a release clause that was there. We didn't take it. We paid about £60 million, which I know it's a lot of money, but when you hear how expensive some of the other signings are, you think Semenyo for 60 mil, yeah, I don't think that's bad business. And to be fair, the way that both of them started life at City, Semenyo's came in, instantly started scoring goals, playing well. I think it's some great business. And even on the exits, Oscar Bob left the football club over the past few days, and listen, that is sad. On a personal level, I love Oscar Bob. I had such high hopes for him, really wanted it to work out. You know, at one point in time, I was thinking this guy's the future of the football club. And look, he may well be. We've got matching rights for whatever happens next for him after Fulham. Well, of course, I mean, that'll be years away, like, but I really wish him the best at Fulham. I think he'll do really well there. We lost him for £27 million, 20% selling clause, matching rights. So realistically, another academy product who's gone and made us serious money, and probably in the future will make us even more money with that selling clause. So yeah, I wish Oscar Bob nothing but the best. I think that Fulham will be a stepping stone for him. I think he's going to be one of the best wingers in the world. I've got full belief in him. A lot more game time, a lot more trust, a lot less competition, just more minutes, a lot more minutes. And look, Fulham are no mess about. Fulham are top half team. We've got them in a few weeks. Oscar Bob's not a mess about either. I think he starts for Fulham. He'll be one of the best players. And I think by the end of the season, even people might be looking at Oscar Bob outside of the football club thinking, I City messed up. Not necessarily straight away to the level of what people say about City messing up about Rodgers or messing up about Cole Palmer, but Oscar Bob's a wicked player, and I think he'll smash it at Fulham, and I hope he does. Oscar Bob, 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 ole, 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 ole. Oscar Bob, Bob, Bob. I'm going to be missing that. I really, really am. And of course, there's a few other exits. You know, it was very, very, very busy as far as youth players seem to have been leaving. Don't know what was going on at the ADS, but somewhat of a clear out. I'm not going to start naming them all because there was genuinely a long list. And as I said, I'm conscious about how long the video is, but again, for the future, and listen, I know not all of them have been big money. Some of them like 500k, a few £1 million here and there, but it all adds up. It all adds up. You know, especially when they've cost us nothing to sell on for a profit. That net, the net spend, of course, always helps. And again, selling clauses, buyback options, all that stuff. It's typical Man City business. They're probably the best run club in the country, so no complaints there. I wish them all good luck and the best of careers for the future. And finally, Stefan Ortega. You know, I just sold my car to Stefan Ortega. He's joined another Premier League team, to be fair, and I quite like that. Again, conscious of me, Mike. I quite like the fact that Oscar Bob and Stefan Ortega are both left to another Premier League team, because it, of course, means that we can watch them. You know, we watch the Premier League every week, whether it's City playing or not. I watch match of the day every week. I watch every game that's on. So Stefan Ortega, you'd imagine, with Forest goalkeeping situation, Matt Sell's injured, that Victor injured, he's going to come straight in. I think he's a top keeper. I think he will keep Forest up. I genuinely do. You know, as far as number twos go, I spoke on James Trafford and said how great he is as a number two, as an option. Copy that, and probably even more so for Stefan Ortega. You know, what he has done in the City shirt, we wouldn't have won that title. You know, that save against Spurs, that save against Son was just season defining, title defining. He seems to have been a great lad, a funny guy. Of course, treble winner. He's been in some massive moments in the City shirt. At times, good enough, and probably should have been number one. You know, he stepped in for Ederson throughout all these injuries and his bad form, and whatever it may have been with Ederson. Stefan Ortega, more than good enough to be a number one at an even bigger club, a better club. No disrespect, but they're Nottingham Forest. He signed on a 5-month contract. Of course, he wasn't playing at City, was he? So yeah, I wish them both nothing but the best. Everyone who's left the club, nothing but the best. Everyone who's entered the club, of course, nothing but the best. And yeah, I think despite the fact there's a little bit of an ill feeling at the minute at City and everyone's a bit down, we've done some good business. We have definitely done some good business for the future of the football club. We're set up well, and whether it's this season, next season, season after, seasons to come, we're definitely looking good, looking better, and things will work out in the end. I know I've been down this video and angry this video, and I'm not in a good mood now. You're coming out of this video. But things will work out in the end, hopefully sooner rather than later for the season, because there's not much more time we can give ourselves to, you know, actually work things out. But I'm on about for the future of the football club. Things will come good. A lot of good business, a lot of good players, a lot of good age as well, you know, as far as footballers. So yeah, I'm going to leave that video there. Definitely the longest video I've done in here. Apologies. If you're still watching now, shout out. Well done. Thank you very much. Let me know your thoughts on everything I've discussed in the video. As I said, I had to mix it up, a bit of a Newcastle preview, you know, a match review rather than filming two separate ones. It just made more sense to blend it all together. So yeah, thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Like I said, Tottenham matchday vlog was out yesterday. Go and give that one a watch. Newcastle matchday vlog will be out tomorrow. Go and give that one a watch when it's out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. 1,000 by the end of the season. Things will be on the up sooner rather than later. It'll all work out. We've got Pep in charge, Alan up front, Donnarumma in net. We're going to be, and still will continue to be, the best team in the land, in all the world. And keep the faith. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. Please sort yourselves out. Newcastle tomorrow. Liverpool on Sunday. It's going to be a busy week. Come on, City.